Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Shama Pandey and we have started our constitutional law lecture series. So in this series we will be talking about all the articles of the constitution with some important amendments and also landmark judgments. So today the topic of discussion is Article 19 of the Constitution of India. To start with, we already know that we have six fundamental rights which Constitution of India offers to its citizens and in some cases to any person. Okay, and what are those six fundamental rights? The first one is right to equality, second one is right to freedom, third one is cultural and right against exploitation, fourth one is freedom of religion, fifth one is cultural and educational right, and the last one is constitutional remedies. Okay, the first right, that is right to equality, we already have covered in our previous lectures. Today we are starting right to freedom, that is from Article 19 to Article 22. So these four articles together constitute right to freedom, है ना? And among these articles, Article 19 and 21 are important in the sense that we have many Supreme Court judgments on these articles with the purpose of defining these two rights in a better way. ठीक है? And today we'll start our discussion on Article 19 of the Constitution of India. Article 19 actually is a very big article because it talks about right to freedom and that too right to freedom of speech and expression. So we have many case law and then because of this reason it is not possible to cover everything in this single lecture. So we will be having part 1, part 2, part 3 on Article 19 itself. In this lecture, I am going to just give you an overview of this Article 19. Okay? So, Article 19 wording is like this: all citizens shall have. So, firstly, you have to mark this word all citizen. As we have seen that in Article 14, the word used is person. So, Article 14, the general principle of equality is promised to all kind of person, whether foreigner or Indian. Okay? But Article 15 and Article 16, they both are only offered to citizens of India, and likewise Article 19 is also for citizens of India, not to foreign nationals. One thing more, if you have studied company law, then we consider companies as a legal entity, as an artificial person, and we study this concept in company law that even that artificial person, that legal entity, has almost all the right which a person possess. Okay, but those any right is available to that corporate or legal entity which is artificial person other than fundamental right. ठीक है? That's why Article 19, when it uses the term citizen, it does not include company and legal entity, only natural person. But we have Supreme Court judgment on this also, that just because some people are shareholder of a company or CEO of a company or any kind of stakeholder in a company, that only because of that reason, that person's right to freedom cannot be violated. He is very much entitled to have his individual this right to freedom, but as a company, but what can I say, that Supreme Court cannot give this right or address the matter when it concerns to company. But just because a person has some kind of position in the company and still this right is violated, it doesn't mean that the Supreme Court will not address the matter. ठीक है? So it is available only to citizen, not to legal entity, that is artificial person. This is the meaning of citizen. Now Article 19 clause 1 offers you or promises you six kind of fundamental right. ठीक है? And what are these? That is freedom of speech and expression, the first one. Next one is freedom to assemble peacefully and without harm. You always have to keep this thing in mind that it is written without harm. It's not like that, many peoples are coming and saying that constitution has given this right that we can gather peacefully. But if you will gather with arms, that will be a crime under Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, that is unlawful assembly. ठीक है, rioting, ये सब हो जाएगा. So constitution gives you this right of freedom to assemble only peacefully and without arm. For example, हमें पता है भजन होते हैं, नौ दुर्गा होता है तो प्रोसेशंस होते हैं. In Hindu we have many festivals where we gather, we celebrate. Muslims come together, assemble, they offer namaz. ठीक है, और भी होते हैं, we do parties, we do other kind of celebration, so we can assemble for sure. But the moment you people are carrying arms and ammunition with you, that assembly will turn to unlawful assembly. That is a concept of BNS. ठीक है, अभी हमें क्या देखना है, that constitution gives us this right to freedom to assemble peacefully and without arm. That is one more thing. For example, we do have right to protest in India. ठीक है, now if you are doing protest but you are also carrying some kind of lethal weapons or maybe some kind of drugs or what can I say, something which is arms and ammunition, then your protest may be invalidated because you have gathered with arms and ammunition. So you have a right to peaceful protest. अपनी बात रखो peacefully, दंगे करने का right नहीं है ना. Anyways, so this is Article 19 Clause 1 Subclause B, that is right to assemble peacefully without arm. Then we have Subclause C that says that we also have right to form associations and unions and cooperative society. तो आप association बना सकते हो. We already know that we have association of banks, of many companies, of trader, of conductor, of driver, so of labor association है ना. These kind of associations are there in India and that is backed by Article 19 Clause 1 Subclause C. ठीक है, that is freedom to form association and union or cooperative society. ये है अपना. Then we have Article 19 Clause 1 Subclause D, that is freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India. The important word you should always remember in this reference is throughout the territory of India. It is constitution has this territorial limit, that is it is obviously enforced only in India. You have no freedom to go to abroad and move freely. ठीक है, और वहां पे हो सकता है वो कंट्री आपको फ्रीडम दे रही है, ऑब्वियसली देते ही हैं, बट इफ योर राइट इज वायलेटेड इन दैट कंट्री, दैट इज for something your freedom to move freely was violated, that in that thing India cannot help you in context to Article 19 Clause 1 Subclause D, because here the wording is move freely throughout the territory of India. जम्मू कश्मीर से लेकर कन्याकुमारी, नॉर्थ ईस्ट से लेकर पूरा गुजरात तक, इतना आप घूम सकते हो फ्रीली. ठीक है, इसके बाहर जा रहे हो तो थोड़ा आप अपना उस कंट्री के हिसाब से चलना पड़ेगा. Anyways, then we have Article 19 Clause 1 Subclause D, that is to reside and settle in any part of India. ठीक है, if I am from MP, I don't want to settle in MP, I can surely go to Karnataka, I can surely go to UP, I can surely go to Gujarat, because this is something which Constitution gives to me, that I have this right to reside and settle in any part of India. ठीक है, obviously we have certain limitations which are there and which we are going to discuss, but abhi this is the general rule that I have right to reside and settle in any part of India. Then we have Article 19 Clause 1 Subclause F, and I have written omitted with blue color because it has been omitted. And what was here before? It was right to property. कि we can acquire property, we can possess property, we can own property. But because of some reason that we will discuss in separate lecture, this right was reduced to the status of constitutional right, not and did not remain fundamental right in the year 1978 through 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. ठीक है, तो अब राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी इज नॉट अवर फंडामेंटल राइट बट आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट. ठीक है. इसके बाद हमारे पास है आर्टिकल 19 क्लॉज 1 सब क्लॉज G where the constitution is giving us the right to practice profession, occupation, trade and business. आपको जो प्रोफेशन करना है, जो ऑक्यूपेशन करना है, जो बिजनेस करना है, आप सब कर सकते हो अपने चॉइस का. द रीजन बिहाइंड दिस इज you already know that we had this caste system, or we actually have this caste system in India where the person's profession is decided by the caste that person is carrying with himself or herself. ठीक है. So for example, I am Brahmin, I am allowed to only read or practice some kind of a Hindu tradition, है ना. If I am what can I say, if I am belonging to particular scheduled caste, I am supposed to do only a certain kind of work, that is to be a cobbler, to be a manual scavenger. तो मतलब इस टाइप से है. So this was literally a very bad practice. ठीक है. सिर्फ आपकी कोई कास्ट, आप किसी कास्ट से बिलोंग कर रहे हो, that cannot be a sole ground to decide your career. ठीक है. Maybe I am from a cobbler family, maybe I am from a carpenter family, but I want to read, I want to write. Obviously I should have this opportunity to be a scientist, है ना. So my caste cannot decide my occupation or trade or business, and this is the ill practice in our caste system, which thankfully it is not that much prevalent nowadays, but in some remote areas we still witness such kind of thing. So in order to eliminate such kind of things, we have article 19 clause 1 clause G. So any person or any organization or any employer cannot select a person on the basis of caste. Oh, that we have this vacancy, you are from this caste, so you are perfect candidate for this vacancy. No, it has to be decided on merits. Understanding this thing? So we have these 6 freedoms under article 19 clause 1. Now these freedoms are not absolute. Absolute means it is not like that we do not have any kind of limitation on these freedom. We have certain limitations which we say reasonable limitation, है ना. Or limitation word is not actually right for article 19 clause 1. The right word is restriction, reasonable restriction. What are those reasonable restriction? It is article 19 clause 2 says that in the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India, in the interest of security of the state, foreign relation with foreign state, and public order, decency and morality, on these grounds, reasonable restriction can be put on freedom of speech and expression. सबका नहीं है. Each of these rights have different kind of reasonable restriction. ठीक है. So article 19 clause 2 is only for article 19 clause 1 clause A, that is freedom of speech and expression. I have written here also. So for freedom of speech and expression we have this reasonable restriction which is under article 19 clause 2. ठीक है. Then article 19 clause 3 is saying that reasonable restrictions can be there in the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India and public order. ठीक है. So you can assemble peacefully without arms subject to interest of sovereignty and integrity of India and public order. So here we don't have those grounds like foreign relation, decency, morality. Those grounds are absent here. Only these two things are here. Understanding it? Then we have article 19 clause 4 which says that it is related to C. Article 19 clause 1 subclause C, that you can form association and unions and cooperative society if it is only until if it is not against the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India, public order and morality. So these 3 grounds are there for article 19 clause 1 subclause C. ठीक है. Now for D and E. Suppose D and E, we have common clause, we have common provision, that is Article 19 clause 5, which says that in the interest of general public and ST, in the interest of general public and SC, reasonable restrictions can be put to move freely throughout the territory of India, to reside and settle in any part of India. ठीक है? Then the last one, Article 19 clause C, is giving this reasonable restriction in the interest of general public when it comes to practice of any profession, trade, business and occupation. So we know, still we have a debate that we all know this, I don't know what to say, business, trade, occupation, profession or prostitution. Still it's a very debatable thing in India, debatable topic in India, whether this business or occupation, jo bhi bolo, I don't have the right term for that, this prostitution should be included here or not. That is freedom to practice profession, occupation, trade and business. So this prostitution thing can be included here, because this is something out of which those women are earning their livelihood, है ना? तो ये भी एक काइंड का बिजनेस है. So this is a debate and still we do not have a very good judgment on this point. Whenever it comes, we will surely decide here. And then for example, one more thing, that is Article 19 clause 1 D and E, that is move freely throughout the territory of India. But reasonable restrictions can be imposed if it is in the interest of general public or ST. ST means scheduled tribe. So the thing is, you must be knowing that some areas in India are bit prohibited, or I can say restricted entry is there. Those areas where some particular scheduled tribe is inhabiting, है ना? So you can, because for those scheduled tribe, it is their home. That forest is their home. It is not a place of tourism that you can simply go and have photos and can enjoy. Maybe it is for you your place of entertainment, but for that particular scheduled tribe, it is their home. That forest is home. That's why in the interest of scheduled tribe and general public, there can be certain reasonable restriction on your this right to move freely without the territory of India. Likewise, in the case to reside and settle, I think you must be knowing this also, that if I want to purchase a property in Shimla, Uttarakhand, or in Jammu and Kashmir, or in some part of northeastern state, I am not allowed. Why I am not allowed? Because we all know that how good we feel in mountains and all, है ना? हमारा बस चले तो हम हर संडे सैटरडे जाके बैग उठा के हम माउंटेन्स में बैठ जाएं, we will have a good vacation. और जो भी वहां जाता है वो यही सोचता है, यार मुझे एक घर यहाँ लेना है, ठीक है, और मेरी लाइफ कितनी पीसफुल हो जाएगी. Now the thing is, if everybody, if the citizens of India are allowed to do such thing, then the topography of that region, है ना, and also their tradition will be kind of infringed. As in, see, you already know how much landslide is happening in that hilly area, that cloud bursting, many things are already happening. If this population will go and settle and reside there and will heavily populate that area, then it will be at the cost of climate, it will be at the cost of those people's tradition, custom, their life, है ना? So that's why we have few restrictions of in only few areas in India. Baki in rest of the India you can reside and settle. For example, in MP, in Gujarat, in Rajasthan, in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, you can purchase a property, you can reside and settle. But if we talk about some northeastern state, because of their geographical region and because of some other factor, buying property is bit restricted there. ठीक है? So with this, I am ending today's discussion here. In the next series, in the next lecture, we will discuss only Article 19 Clause 1 Subclause A, that is freedom of speech and expression. ठीक है, because it is very lengthy, that's why. Thank you everyone.